Good morning students. In this video we will discuss about permanent tissues. Permanent tissues. Permanent tissues. So the main difference between mesostomatic and permanent tissue is permanent tissues they lost the capacity to divide. They lost to the capacity to divide. Mesostomatic cells they retain the capacity to divide. They always divide to produce large number of new cells. But permanent tissues lost the capacity to divide. And all the permanent tissues they are originated through differentiation process. They are originated through differentiation. So differentiation is also called maturation. So all the permanent tissues are originated through differentiation or maturation process. Differentiation or maturation means that is nothing but lost the capacity to divide. And permanent tissues are again divided to two types: simple permanent and complex permanent. The first, simple permanent. The simple permanent tissues are they are made up of group of similar cells. Group of similar cells having common function. And complex permanent tissues are made up of group of dissimilar cells. They are made up of group of dissimilar cells but having common function. Whether it is simple permanent or complex permanent, but both the types of permanent tissues they lost the capacity to divide. If a permanent tissue made up of similar cells having common function, then it is known as simple permanent. If permanent tissue made up of group of dissimilar cells having common function, then it is said to be complex permanent tissues. To first discuss with simple permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues are again, there are three types. What are the three types? Parenchyma, collenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. These are the three types of simple permanent tissues. So they are tissues. Tissues means group of similar cells having common function, and they are different types of parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. So all the three types discuss one by one. The first one is parenchyma. This is the diagram. So tissue means group of cells, and this is simple tissue. So simple tissue made up of group of similar cells. So these are the different tissues. This is the basic structure of parenchyma. So parenchyma, it is made up of group of cells, and this is plant cells. In plant cells, then a special character, special cell organelle present, that is vacuole. Vacuole present, and this is nucleus, and this is the cytoplasm. And group of cells arranged loosely or conjunctly arranged, and this is called parenchyma. And this tissue, the term parenchyma was given by N. Grew. He is also regarded as father of plant anatomy. And the parenchyma tissue, this parenchyma tissue is made up of living cells. This tissue has group of cells, and all the cells are living cells. If they are living cells, and the basic difference between living and dead cells, that is, if any plant tissue is made up of living cells, then presence of nucleus, presence of vacuole, presence of cytoplasm, it is the mandatory. If these three characters present, then the cell is known as living cell. So these parenchymatous cells have large central vacuole. It has large central vacuole and peripheral cytoplasm present and prominent nucleus present. And the presence of vacuole, cytoplasm and nucleus, it is the characteristic feature of any plant cell. If vacuole present in only plant cell, it is absent in animal cells. So the tissue parenchyma, the term parenchyma was given by Anglew. This tissue is made up of living cells, and the living cells have prominent nucleus, large central vacuole, and this is the peripheral cytoplasm. The cell wall, the plant cells, presence of cell wall is the characteristic feature of plant cell. Here, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. It is one of the most abundant microfibril present on the living plant cell. Here in parenchyma, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. And intercellular spaces means a spaces between adjacent cells. A spaces between adjacent cells is called intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces, they may be absent or present. And all the cells of parenchyma, they are isodiametric. Isodiametric means similar, diameter. So all the cells of parenchyma tissue has same diameter in all the planes. So there all these adjacent cells are connected through plasmodesmata. All adjacent cells are connected through plasmodesmata, and it is also known as cytoplasmic bridges. The adjacent cells are connected through plasmodesmata. What is plasmodesmata? The cytoplasm of adjacent cells. The cytoplasm of adjacent cells connected to form a bridge, and this bridge is known as plasmodesma. These are the some important characteristic features of parenchyma. And parenchyma helps in, what are the main important functions of parenchyma? This tissue, the parenchyma tissue helps in storage of food material, stored in parenchyma, and it also helps in slow conduction of water and minerals and food material. Usually water and minerals conducted by xylem and food material conducted by phloem. But in some cases, the parenchyma also helps in slow conduction of water, minerals and food material. And it also helps in, or it also maintains turgidity of cell. So entry or exit of water in a cell, that is called turgidity. So turgidity of cell also maintained by parenchyma. And this parenchyma tissue also helps in secretion of various materials. It also helps in secretion of various materials. And these are the important functions. These are the important functions of tissue parenchyma. And the parenchyma again, they are different types based on the character or based on its structure. Parenchyma again different types. And some important types are, the first one is Collerenchyma. So parenchyma with chloroplasts. Is known as Collerenchyma. And this Collerenchyma is specialized. This tissue is specialized for photosynthesis. Chloroplasts directly take part in photosynthesis. And Collerenchyma means parenchyma, but parenchymatic cells have abundant number of chloroplasts. If parenchyma tissue contain or possesses large number of chloroplasts, then parenchyma is known as Collerenchyma. So Collerenchyma is specialized for photosynthesis. In leaves, the Collerenchyma usually two types: palisade Collerenchyma and spongy Collerenchyma. These two types of Collerenchyma directly take part in photosynthesis. And next one is Erenchyma. Next type of parenchyma is Erenchyma, and it is the parenchyma of aquatic plants. Water plants. And this Erenchyma are a parenchyma with air cavities. This parenchyma have large number of air cavities. Parenchyma with air cavities is known as Erenchyma. And the air cavities of parenchyma is filled with various metabolic gases. The air cavities of parenchyma is filled with various metabolic gases. So due to presence of metabolic gases in their air cavities, parenchyma gives buoyancy to free floated aquatic plants. Some aquatic plants are freely float on the surface area. That is due to presence of parenchyma. So parenchyma gives buoyancy due to presence of air cavities. This is another. Next one is storage parenchyma. Another type is storage parenchyma. So storage parenchyma means parenchyma helps in storage of food. Parenchyma helps in storage of food is known as storage parenchyma. So generally storage parenchyma present in fruits and seeds, because fruits and seeds they contain food material. So this parenchyma helps in storage of food material. And next one is prosenchyma. Generally the parenchymatic cells are spherical, or sometimes they are oval shaped, or sometimes they are globular also. The shape of parenchymatic cells are spherical, oval or globular. But in some cases, exceptionally, the shape of parenchyma cells are elongated. Elongated parenchyma is known as prosenchyma. This prosenchyma helps in, it gives mechanical support to various plant parts. And last type of parenchyma is idioblasts. Idioblasts. So idioblasts, they also type of parenchyma, but the cell wall is made up of lignin, and the parenchyma helps in secretion of oils, gums, enzymes, etc. If parenchyma helps in secretion of gums, oils, enzymes, then the parenchyma is known as idioblast. And parenchyma present in all plant parts. The parenchymatic tissue present in all plant parts. Parenchyma present in roots, parenchyma present in stems, leaves, and internally it is also present in epidermis, general cortex, endodermis, xylem, phloem. So all the tissues. So parenchymatic tissue present in all plant parts, hence it is known as, it is the most abundant and it is the most primitive. It is the most abundant and most primitive tissue present in different plant parts. So this is the first simple permanent tissue. And the second simple permanent tissue is collenchyma. Second simple tissue is known as collenchyma. The term collenchyma was given by Sheldon, who is also proposed cell theory. Cell theory was proposed by Sheldon and Swan, and this one also gives the term collenchyma. And this tissue, collenchyma tissue, is also made up of living cells. If any tissue is made up of living cells, then presence of vacuole, central large sized vacuole, and peripheral cytoplasm, and prominent nucleus. So these three characters are also present in living cells. And the cells which are present in collenchyma tissue, they are called collocytes. Cells in collenchyma is known as collocytes. And here the cell wall is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin. Cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin, these various chemicals present on, or they are deposited on the cell wall of collocytes or cell wall of collenchyma. Next, collenchyma present, this tissue present only in dicot stem and petiole. The axis of leaf is known as petiole. This tissue present in only dicot stem and petiole. This tissue is usually absent in all monocots, whether it is monocot root or monocot stem, or in some leaves, this tissue is totally absent. It is present in only dicot stem. If it is present in dicot stem, where it is present? In dicot stem, below the epidermis, it is present in the form of epidermis. In dicot stem, collenchyma present in the form of hypodermis below epidermis. Below epidermis. Below epidermis. And this collenchyma tissue is also known as, this is very important point, it is also called the living mechanical tissue. The living mechanical tissue. Collenchyma is also known as living mechanical tissue. Here we should remember one thing. The living cells, they are unable to give mechanical support. But here exceptionally, a collenchyma is made up of living cells. It is made up of living cells. Then it also gives mechanical support to the various organs, hence it is known as the living mechanical tissue. And depending upon or based on the excess deposition of pectin, cellulose and hemicellulose, the collenchyma tissue is divided into, it is again classified into three types. Based on the excess deposition of pectin, cellulose, the collenchyma is of three types. The first one is angular collenchyma. Angular collenchyma, if you generally in collenchyma, intercellular species is absent. Exceptional and very rare conditions they are present, but in some cases present that is very rare condition. Angular collenchyma, in angular collenchyma, excess deposition of pectin and cellulose there occurs, they are present at angles. What are angles? Where more than two cells are connected, where two or more than two cells are meet, that is called angles. If the excess deposition of pectin and cellulose present at angles, then this type of parent collenchyma is known as angular collenchyma. It is clear? Angular collenchyma means the excess deposition of pectin and cellulose present at angles. And this type of collenchyma usually present in sugar. And second one is lacunar collenchyma. Lacunar collenchyma. This is the collenchyma. The cells of collenchyma are living cells, but intercellular spaces, already I told you, intercellular spaces are usually absent. But in some cases, in some species like tomato and sunflower, narrow intercellular spaces are present. These are the intercellular spaces, and the excess deposition of cellulose and pectin at intercellular spaces. If intercellular spaces possesses excess deposition of cellulose and pectin, then this type of collenchyma is known as lacunar collenchyma, and lacunar collenchyma usually can be found in tomato and sunflower. And the third one is lamellar collenchyma. In lamellar collenchyma, the cells are horizontally arranged, and these cells have incompleted walls. These are the incompleted walls. The incompleted walls are known as tangential walls. For example, this is plant cell, and they are the continuous cell walls, and they are the discontinuous cell walls. And these discontinuous cell walls are known as tangential walls. If excess deposition of cellulose and pectin, present on tangential walls, then the collenchyma is known as lamellar collenchyma. Collenchyma is of three types: angular collenchyma, excess deposition of pectin and cellulose present at angles; lacunar collenchyma, excess deposition of pectin and cellulose present at intercellular spaces, then lamellar, excess deposition of pectin and cellulose present on tangential walls. Example, this type of collenchyma present in cucurbita species. So these are the different types of collenchyma. And what is the main function of collenchyma? Collenchyma gives mechanical support to the various young organs. various young organs. It gives mechanical support to only young organs, not matured organs. This is the second type of simple permanent tissue. And last one is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma. And the term sclerenchyma was given by Mettenius. The term parenchyma was given by Angue, and the term collenchyma was given by Sheldon, and the term sclerenchyma was given by Mettenius. And this tissue, the first two tissues, parenchyma and collenchyma, are made up of living cells, but the tissue sclerenchyma is made up of dead cells. This tissue is made up of dead cells. If any tissue is made up of dead cells, and the cell wall of dead cell usually made up of lignin or cellulose, or sometimes both lignin and cellulose. The cell wall of sclerenchyma is made up of lignin and cellulose. Usually in plants, the plant body is made up of two different types of cells, living and dead cells. In living cells, in mesotic condition, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. In dead cells, the cell wall is made up of lignin. And here, the sclerenchyma is made up of dead cells. Hence, the cell wall has large deposition of lignin than cellulose. And this tissue gives mechanical support. The main function of sclerenchyma is to support mechanically to various mature organs. In young organs, mechanical support given by collenchyma. But in matured organs, means dicot stem, dicot root, these are the mechanical support given by sclerenchyma. Hence, the sclerenchyma is also known as true mechanical tissue. True mechanical tissue. Collenchyma is known as the living mechanical tissue, but sclerenchyma is known as the true mechanical tissue because it gives mechanical support to various matured organs. Already I told you this is made up of dead cells. If any cell made up of dead cell, inner nucleus absent, cytoplasm absent, and vacuole absent. It means inner empty space is there only. The inner empty space of dead cells is known as lumen. The inner empty space of any dead cell is known as lumen, and lumen helps in conduction of transportation of water and minerals from root to top of the plant or from one organ to another organs. And this sclerenchyma tissue, it is again two types. Sclerenchyma is of two types: fibers and sclerites. Fibers and sclerites. Fibers. The structure of fibers like this. Fibers are the longest cells. Fibers are the longest cells in the plant body, and they are elongated, narrow cells. These narrow cells they have pointed ends. The ends are tapered. These ends are tapered. They are not broad. They have tapering end walls. The fibers are elongated, narrow with pointed ends, and the fibers have lignified walls. Lignified walls means the cell wall is made up of lignin, and this inner empty space, the inner empty space of fibers is known as lumen. And the fibers, they also bears forces of pull, compression, bending, etc. And fibers always they occurs in groups. Not single fiber is present. Fibers are always occurs in groups. When they are present in groups, it results in the formation of bundles, or it results in the formation of sheets, or it results in the formation of cylinders. So that's why the fibers have high amount of lignin, and the wood, hardwood and softwood, it depends directly related to amount of fiber, because the amount of fibers present then the amount of lignin present. If amount of lignin present, then the fibers or the wood is known as softwood. Means softwood has partial amount of lignin, and hardwood has high amount of lignin. If lignin is high, then wood is hard. If amount of lignin is partial, then wood is known as softwood. And they are the longest cells. Longest cells fibers are there narrow, elongated with tapering end walls. They have lignified cell walls, and they are also longest cells. Some examples are, for example, in cannabis, the height of fibers is up to 5 centimeters, and in one more example, that is rami. In rami it is up to 55 centimeters, and one more example, that is jute. In jute it is up to 100 centimeters. And next one is sclerenchyma. And sclerenchyma, there always occurs in grooves. And compared to fibers, they have very less amount of lignin. And depending on the shape, sclerates are again different types. Some sclerates are called brachysclerites. They are rounded type of sclerites, and this type of sclerites usually present in apple, pears, and support. A grittiness of pulp of apple, pear, and sapota, that is due to presence of brachysclerites. The next one is macrosclerites. They are rod shaped, and usually they are present in this type of sclerites present in legumes. Next, osteosclerites. Osteosclerites are bone shaped sclerites, and it is this type of sclerites present in Haekia. And next, astrosclerites. They are star shaped, and they are present in leaves of tea plant and leaves of nymphaea. It is one of the aquatic plant. And next one is trichosclerites. They are next filiform sclerites. They are thread-like and usually present in oleo. And last type of sclerites are trichosclerites. So trichosclerites are the hair-like sclerites, and they are present in aerial roots. Of monstera. So these are depending on shape. These are the various types of sclerites. So these three types of tissues are categorized under simple permanent. What are the three types? Parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. So from this, the simple permanent tissues are totally completed.